versus anything else, I would literally have to wait 40 seconds, potentially more with YouTube, to actually see what changes you're making.
Yeah, of course.
I just hope you have the CPU capacity to support streaming to multiple locations this way.
Okay, the link to the stream is in voice. And let's see if I can do this screen share. And hope that that doesn't tank the quality, because I'm trying to stream to 2 different applications at once.
You may be expending a lot of extra CPU. But, yeah, that's up. Alright, that's it.
That's what?
Huh?
What were you saying?
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes!
Okay.
But you said that's it. Like, what's
Hello?
it?
No, I was in, like, I can see the stream. You are cutting out like crazy, though. I don't know whether it's, like, your upload rate or if it's, like, because at this point you're uploading the same video to multiple locations. Hello? Russell?
Yeah.
Russell, hello?
Yes, I hear you.
Your response is, like, really, really slow.
Oh, great. Is this taking a toll on Discord as well?
Yes, probably. Your responses are no longer in real time, actually.
Oh dear.
I mean, we can do it through YouTube. It's fine. I can just watch through there, but
Yeah.
there will be a delay. Like a pretty big one, actually. Also, I can't hear my voice through the actual stream, so, like, maybe it's fine if we just did it that way. I don't know. See, your responses are like perfectly instant at this point. So, like, what's going on? Whistle?
Yeah, I made the desktop audio a bit louder.
I can't hear anything.
That's wild.
Oh, we got it.
Oh, okay.
I sound horrible. Holy shit. Okay.
Okay, so we actually...
I'm gonna mute the audio because I hate listening to myself.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's the first goal?
So
Figure out
the first
the
thing
feed IKs?
I need to do is I need to restructure the parenting for the toe bones so they aren't parented to the position bone.
Okay.
But in order to do that, I also need to mess around with the IK settings for all these things.
So do you have do you know of a way to do this? Or are you just going to be experimenting to figure out if you can get something that works?
Both.
Okay. At least it's good. It's good to know that we have actual direction for this.
Wait a minute.
Hmm.
Why in the world did I give these bones custom shapes? Because they aren't meant to be visible.
Aren't meant to be what? Oh, easy first thing to do. Do you think it's possible to remove those knee bones? And
Yes.
elbow bones? That might actually be easier to do than the
Yeah, I can definitely turn this into a 2-joint system. Or a 1-joint system, rather. I just gotta take that bone and then have the meat in the middle.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the models that I've seen actually have the foot at the ball of the foot rather than the ankle. Is this usual?
Well, yeah, your foot doesn't bend at the heel or the ball or whatever. It bends at the ankle.
Yes, but like the actual, I guess it's easier to picture the curvature when the actual.
Trust me, this is the correct way to do it.
Okay.
Because
like
have...
when I looked at the one for Yomu, that one actually, if you want to cross check that one, like that one also had it at the very base of the foot. But I mean, if it works better, I can't speak to exactly the efficacy of either.
Because if we have
I'm just curious as to which one, why one was chosen or the other.
If we have the ankle joint down at the heel, then that means that the foot will actually like bend right here at the heel. It means that like the shoe is gonna bend where you've never seen a shoe bend before.
Interesting.
That's how
okay.
feet bending works.
Is that why you need that IK?
What now?
Is that why the IK is set up that way?
Yes. The knee doesn't bend on a single point.
No, not the knee. I'm saying is that why the toe IK is set up that way?
What?
Like you have that extra like the actual IK for the foot.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah, is that why there is that?
So this thing's just meant to Oh, I guess it's completely broken now.
Uh-oh.
I mean, that's because I just turned the IK off for now, so that when I mess around with the parenting, it doesn't...
Oh, by the way, please be sure to make backups. Like, I don't want this to be, what happened earlier with Marissa.
Please what?
So we, earlier, Marissa's rig exploded, and we didn't have any backups of it, so we couldn't actually go back. I know you sent me an actual an FBX file and the like, but I don't think I actually have a backup blend file for it for this rig.
Yeah, I
It
can.
might be best to save an initial state, make sure we have a backup for it.
Alright, I'll save this as version 2.1.
Is that with the knees, or with that, like literally just copy over the initial state to something else?
Yeah.
Just to be absolutely sure.
I just did.
Okay, thank you. Definitely do not want to lose destructively a bunch of work that we've done.
Alright, so those bones should be connected now. Let's do the same for the elbows as well.
And as much as you loathe it, I'm gonna start looking after my thing runs out in a few hours, for baseline humanoid animations that we can just slap on Reimu. Both to test out the rig, but also to test out the efficacy of some of the cloth simulation work that we're doing.
Yeah, I get you.
And hopefully with that we can actually get something nice up and running.
I'm actually not offended by that.
I know some of the people in our group are definitely not okay with it.
Well,
or do not like it.
They're probably younger than both of us, so... I mean, are there exceptions?
No, actually, I'm pretty sure you're one of the youngest people in our group.
Oh, so there are definitely exceptions then.
In fact, I was one of the younger ones, actually.
Oh, actually, I don't think I need to disable the arm IKs yet. But I should set these chain lengths to 2. Now that we have a single joint system.
So I think moving forward, once we have this going, when you're animating, just disable the rendering of the skirt and the armlets. We can test how it looks in game afterwards. If it doesn't look all that great, we can do micro tweaks.
For sure. Hello, Grim Reaper. Welcome to the stream.
Just be warned, if you do speak, your voice will be recorded. This is being sent to YouTube as well. So if you are, please, if you have a problem with this, we ask that you move to a different voice channel. If you're looking for the link, it's in voice.
Wait, who are you talking to, James?
Wait, Grim Reaper? Oh, I thought they were in the the Discord voice channel. I was like, wait, huh?
No, Grim Reaper's just a chatter on YouTube.
Oh. Hello. Now the question is why. You know, if you're planning on doing this regularly, Russell.
Yeah.
Uh, I ask that you use Restream.io and stream to both YouTube and Twitch. That way I can at least restream it on Twitch from the Horror ITS one.
Alright. I've never used Restream.io, so
It's literally the same. You just set it up on their end, and they will stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time.
Okay.
But yeah, we can set that up later. Don't worry about it.
What in the world is this foot setup? Why did I set it up this way? Now that I know the specs, like, this setup literally makes no sense.
What do you mean by specs? As in, like, if we...
Like, now that I know how the skeleton needs to be set up in Unity, like... I could have done this so much differently.
Do you have to reskin for the bones that you deleted?
Yeah, I probably do. I probably need to repaint... re-weight paint a lot of that stuff. It's just the knees and the elbows, though, so it shouldn't take too long.
Hey, at least we're learning this now rather than later.
True. It's time for me to find my Google Drive document detailing all the changes that I needed to make. Okay. Oh, hey, Lunar. Welcome to the stream.
TPTA.
You're welcome to join the voice channel if you want.
If you're willing to let your voice be recorded for it.
Yeah.
I'm actually really surprised that you had other people outside of this group watching the stream. Does, like, I don't know how many YouTube subscribers you have. Russell?
I have a little more than 1,000.
Holy crap! Really?
Yep.
That's That's what the part that surprises me.
Hey, Lunar. What's up?
Lunar. Spotlight.
The sad thing is that I don't even admire my claim to fame anymore.
Wait.
If I'm okay with it, he says.
I mean, you record your voice all the time.
Exactly. Exactly. Quite used to it.
Okay. Oh, shoot.
How much you know about 3D modeling and rigging, Lunar?
Not much. I've opened Blender like maybe once ever. So.
Oh, what is that?
So that would be my bone constraints
Going nuts.
messing up fucking shit. So I need to go in and disable them real fast.
That sounds like it hurts really badly.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, I think I'm gonna delete all the IK related bones
I would
and just
I'd agree with that, Grim Reaper. Like, people
start
think that...
from the start.
So I made a thing that's been around for 9 years, and people are like, well, you should have an app for it. And it's like, well, the website's so nice, like, you must be able to afford nicer things and like a whole team and stuff. And like, don't really have those things. It's still mostly independent.
I'm gonna be honest. Fame actually isn't terrible.
Terrible?
It's disappointing more than anything else.
It does not give you... It does not spark joy.
It leads you to believe that a lot more people will know you than they actually do.
It doesn't give you anything you actually need. Except for, I guess, your name might appear before someone else's who is less famous, I guess.
Okay.
You might be forgotten a little bit less.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess that's fair.
So now all those bones are properly parented to their FK bits and pieces. So now how do I want to do this? I kind of do want to do a setup where the animators can control the entire leg, including the toe, with just one bone.
Honestly, I feel like foot position and then toes being separate is fine, but that's just me. Like, just,
The thing is that
do you?
it's pretty important to have good control over what part of the foot is contacting the ground or whatever else they're contacting.
I mean, actually, I was planning on experimenting with IK movements in Unity itself, so maybe we want to like experiment with that as well.
We definitely want to do the animations in Blender.
Like do the animations in Blender, but then also have dynamic IKs during the game, because there's no way we're going to be able to account for all slope shapes during the actual game. Like that's
Okay.
and it's going to look really bad if their foot is clipping through the ground during that.
That's fair. So
But right now, I think the main focus is making sure that it actually looks proper when we actually move it in Unity, because we can worry about the actual dynamic IKs later. You know what? Do you have that Google Doc? Can you share that with me? Because I really need to. I want to both cross-check it and also potentially add things to it. Not now, just later. Just remember to do so.
Mm-hmm. Oh crap, how in the world did I scale these things?
Uh-oh.
Oh, maybe
Big
I need
toe.
to do it on individual origins. There we go. That's how we do it.
So what was his claim to fame that you were talking about?
So I made this video like 2 years ago where I took a dancing animation from this one series called Gwaine Saga, I'm pretty sure you've heard me
I
mention that a couple
remotely know
times.
about this. Yeah, well, what about it?
So, it was basically a 10-minute long video where I just put a bunch of different musical tracks over the dance, and that got really popular.
Interesting.
Of course, now that video is blocked in the US, so
Obviously for copyright reasons.
yeah. It does have 2 sequels, though, that are still available, but I'm not proud of them.
Hmm.
I can't stand watching them anymore. They just irritate me. And you've also heard me complain in the past about how I stopped being a big part of the community because I was bitter. I mean, I still watch the show. I still like it a lot. And I probably am going to make a reaction video for episode 8 when that comes out eventually, but like, I don't moderate the server anymore. I don't really interact with a lot of folks from the community anymore.
Mhm.
Even though most of my subscribers are from the community in the first place due to reasons, but yeah. Hello, Screwdriver. Welcome to the stream.
Howdy.
DDDA.
Okay, so I want this to be the IK handle, so that'll be ankle ik.r.
Without concept.
ik.l. Let us remember the 007 spoilers without context. That's another really sad thing. None of my YouTube videos get a decent amount of views anymore, unless they're Going Saga related. And I mean, I still do make a Going Saga related video once in a blue moon, but like most of my other like Smash videos or other videos based on other topics only get like, they barely breach the triple digit. But like all my Going Saga videos get the 4th digit or a little bit below
I mean,
that.
if you've been producing a lot of stuff for multiple years, then that's what people are going to come to.
Mm-hmm.
Though realistically, I'm not going to lie, if you're not breaking like 6 digits on your channel on each video, you're probably not making much off of YouTube.
Mm-hmm, for sure. YouTube's not paying me anything. Okay, so
With
the IK handles should not be parented to anything.
I'm trying to explore options for funding the thing that I do without mentioning what that is on this stream. And YouTube's one of those things that we've considered, although the return is pretty questionable.
Especially with the investment of needing to make videos.
Well, I mean, you could argue the same thing about a mobile app. Like, you know, we've made what, like,
Yeah, but a
$2
mobile
in
app
the past.
scales really well.
And videos don't. Like, you make one, and one person can watch it, or a million people can watch it.
Yes, but to actually make it a consistent income kind of thing, you have to
Continue.
continuously produce. Otherwise, your videos literally do not make it onto people's suggestions, and that
Right.
therefore cuts down your potential revenue. Whereas an app, if so long as you have, kept it up and running just fine,
Sure.
literally has no issue producing more money so long as people are using it. And I mean, if the content of the actual app is disconnected from the app itself, then no.
Yeah.
Okay. which bones are the ones we want to give the custom objects?
I mean, the company that I'm working on right now, or project, personal, like, financial project, definitely is already profitable. And I've been asked by my sister to make an app. Hello, who's this?
What are you guys up to?
We are presently streaming, so anything you say in this will be broadcast and potentially recorded. Please be
Yeah,
aware
are
of
you
that.
alright with that, Potato?
Yeah, I don't really care.
Okay.
I already do the other,
if you want to take a
stream
look,
with,
Rissel's streaming
Yeah, I'm streaming on YouTube right now.
stuff
okay.
for
I'm pretty sure I put
transcription.
the link to the stream in the voice channel, so...
Oh, yeah, I'll take a
Yeah.
look.
Let's see.
Oh, I see. You're rigging.
Yep, I am.
or rather correcting correcting errors with the rig.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so I want the feet bones to copy the rotation of... Let's see. I want them to do the ankle IK.
So, can you explain how IKs are parented and work in, like, just so I can understand, because I'm also curious, because, I mean, if I want to help out with this, might as well.
So, basically, to create an IK... Oh, shoot.
If I'm getting in the way of you actually getting stuff done, don't actually
No.
answer.
It's just YouTube is telling me that it's having errors, which is a bit strange.
Yeah, just ignore that. Continue.
But basically, to create an IK, you need to tell Blender to form an IK on the last bone in a chain. Tell it to target the armature and specifically the bone, like the IK.
So it
handle,
has to
it's
be in
called.
the actual armatures hierarchy, or can it be separate?
I mean, it needs to be a property of the actual bone that you're talking about. So.
Yes, so I understand that it might be a property, but like, does it have to have a hierarchical relation with it? It's like I'm aware of some IK systems where it literally just has an arbitrary target point. It doesn't have to be parented or associated with it. If that's how it works in Blender, then by all means, go ahead. But like, so long as it's like we don't actually see it in the final exported output, I think that's fine.
I'm not sure exactly how that works. I'm gonna be honest.
I guess this is something I'll investigate.
But yeah, when we export it, we should be able to export it just using the FK bones and the motions recorded with them. The IKs are strictly for use within Blender. It's just to make things easier to animate.
Yeah, let's just not include it as a part of the output. Also, if there are any tedious parts to this, I will definitely see if I can help write some scripts to automate some parts of this tedium.
You mentioned you were looking at building an app.
Yep.
I am presently learning Swift, so...
Wait, are you actually planning on writing this in...
Right now, I am just learning the language.
Okay. Honestly, I was just gonna use Flutter.
Oh, okay.
Because,
If you don't need anything that's, like, super native, like audio handling like I do, then, yeah, you can get away with using...
I literally just need something that, you know...
Flutter, Xamarin, or whatever.
enters data and sends REST requests. So... it's a fucking property management app. Like,
Right.
I think bar push notifications, I think, were pretty good.
Yeah, the problem with developing for iOS is that you need the hardware, and that costs money. So you can't run Xcode on anything other than a Mac, which is super frustrating.
I don't understand why they do this. Oh, actually, no, I do understand why they do this. It's just fucking retarded.
However, I did read a thing that might be a bit of a silver lining. If we do end up getting to the point where we can develop for it, and we might, because I have a friend who has expressed interest in trying it out, although I have to create documentation for him if that's the case, then the other hurdle is that you may or may not need a developer account, which costs $100 a year. However, I read a thing that mentioned that might only be the case if you intend to sell or monetize the app. I guess
if you don't have ads in it.
No, I mean, I think you might be able to have ads in it, so just selling it basically. But I'd have to double check exactly the specifics. I know on Android, it's actually a self-reported thing if your app includes ads or not. It doesn't just automatically detect if there's ad code. So it's like for a little while we had ads in an app that didn't report having ads in it.
Oops.
And I realized, whoop, that was for a couple days or whatever, so it's not a big deal, but that is possible to do, I think is the point. They're also very cagey about what you can and can't do, and like the designs and the flow. Like they have a thing that
as
describes,
an Apple is, or like
yeah, Apple does. They have a thing that describes what the first screen looks like that shows up while it's loading stuff in the background, kind of like a splash screen, except it can't be like the splash screen has to roughly match or take elements from whatever screen will appear after that, so that it looks like it's part of it, and then it just loads quickly, and that it doesn't have to be interactable because elements can be loading or whatever, but it's all about the illusion of speed.
So I have some good news and bad news.
What's up? Oh,
So the leg
nice.
actually looks like it's moving fine. But the foot is not copying the rotation of the IK handle, and I'm not sure why.
Your toes.
And this is with a disjointed IK handle, or is this because of the knee that was removed? Like,
Wait,
what
I don't know what you're asking.
what? I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're asking.
Like, what's the actual key fix that we have here? Like, is it the IK that has been moved, or is it the knee that was removed? I think I still see the knee. Oh wait, no, the knees are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a single joint system now.
Hey, that was fast.
It does clip sort of oddly at the knee.
It's not quite to what our rig was doing before.
Sure.
Are the arms fixed, or?
Yeah, the arm should be fixed.
Sweet. I also mentioned this because additional bones do require more CPU power to run. It's extra computation that needs to be run every single time. So,
The pull target should work as well. Yeah.
Chicken wing.
shit. Now you see Reimu doing the little chicken dance.
We're out here in this parking lot with a very mysterious looking chicken wing. Oh my god.
Yeah. Chicken wing on a stick.
Oh my goodness. Why isn't this foot rotating with the ankle IK? I don't get it. And why isn't this toe moving with the toe handle? So, James, what do you think about people looting the PS5?
Doing the what?
What do you think of people looting the PS5?
Looting?
Yeah, looting.
Wait, there are people who are actually looting the PS5 already?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even.
I'm really confused. I didn't
Rule
even know it was
34.
released. What?
Rule 34.
Oh, I thought you said looting, not looting.
Oh my god.
I actually
James.
heard the exact same thing. I assumed that.
I thought you were
what was
blind,
that?
James. I didn't
Something-
know you were deaf.
Wow.
God damn it.
I ask because there's this guy in my chat who just straight up said, I don't like people looting the PS5, and I was just like, oh, that's not relevant. I guess we'll make it relevant. Okay.
I mean, I like me some Norar loot as well. I avid Neptunia fan. I enjoy cute console girls.
Maybe I need to set this to local space. No, it's still just kind of doing its own thing. Why? So what we do know is that the foot bone, as in the FK foot bone, absolutely has to be parented to the shin bone in order for it to be recognized by Unity.
Hmm.
I'm just worried that that relationship between the two bones is what's causing this thing to not let the bone underneath it rotate.
But bones connected to the.
I was actually thinking of that
Toe
exact
bone.
same song when he said that.
Many a skeleton editor has probably thought of that very song.
The Fumo bone is connected to the.
and Fumos don't have bones.
The foo bone's connected to the mo bone.
I
Fumo.
would like a boneless fumo.
Yeah, okay. So would I.
Oh my god. What in the world am I supposed to do here? Should I be doing copy transforms instead? I have a feeling this is going to go terribly wrong.
Single.
Go ik.r.
I mean, try everything that you have on. What?
Woo!
What?
I think we have our answer. Hey, check that out. It's not doing its own thing anymore. That's good.
The femur is the hardest part of the human bone.
There's only one bone in the body.
I feel like that's true until you get an erection. Yeah.
Okay, so if transforms is what we need to get that bone to follow the handle, then I think I can reason out why the toe isn't following this thing. We just need to make this thing. Let's see. Let's have this thing copy the transforms of the toe pivot. Well, without doing that. Oh, Lord. That's Beyblade!
Wait, what?
Oh my god, this is mesmerizing. Not what we want, though.
Yeah, it doesn't look right.
Oh,
Maybe we can get away with copy rotation for that bone. Let's see. Armature. Toe pivot.r.
Pivoter.
Oh, no. No. Wait, maybe if we set it to local space. And local space. Local space with parent? Ah, there we go. Oh, shoot. This is what makes IKs very frustrating. Because if you have a parenting thingamabobber with the bones, or if you create a contradiction or some kind of other impossibility within the
where there's like
IK
multiple things that
setup,
drive it.
then it just makes the bones spaz out.
I'm actually surprised that they don't have like a lock on that system to basically say like only one thing or only these things that can be accepted as proper weighting for it. Oh jeez. Fuck.
Oh geez, what?
Sorry. Woo!
Shit. Okay. It said that I saved the thing, but it still let me undo that placement, so we aren't doomed yet. Maybe if I just set this part to local. Nope. It's not doing it either. What do you mean, what kind of conversation is this, Grim Reaper? Have you never been in a Discord call?
Full of Discord degenerates.
Well, you know, I'd be contributing more, but I am currently studying for a test, so. It's really difficult to study for a test when you don't know exactly what's going to be on the test. You have a vague enough idea where you can, you know, kind of what to look up.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And then you don't know how long the test is going to be, and you don't know how many questions the test is going to have.
Speaking of which, Potato. Speaking of tests, how'd the go?
So you know how it's how it was front end, and I mostly studied data structures and algorithms for it because that was what, you know, last time I interviewed with Amazon, they quizzed me on that. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll study what I did last time and I'll do great. No, it was nothing to do with data structures and algorithms and everything to do with like, you know how like JavaScript has like very peculiar things it does. It was all like quizzing me on those things. I'm like, oh crap, I really should have studied. I got some of them, but I definitely didn't remember all of them. So, nope.
Yeah.
Someone like me, who is more or less a generalist on those kinds of things, would never be able to 100% get through something like that.
Essentially where I am, I'm like a generalist, so I going into an interview, I expect like, okay, broad range of questions, but it's mostly going to be, you know, give me a programming problem and I'll, you know, solve it programmatically. And usually I you know, studied Python because that's like the quickest language for those type of questions. But it wasn't the kind of interview I was expecting. So, unfortunately.
Well, now the bones are doing exactly what we tell them to, but it's also
not constrained.
Oh no, they are not doing exactly what we tell them to. What in the world? What? What the? Now that's just weird.
Cat, please. Kept sitting on my keyboard again. God damn it! Come on.
I'm doing right click so that it should revert back to its original position, but when I right click, it just doesn't do it. And yet when I press Alt G, then it goes back to the original position. That's kind of strange. Oh, you know, I actually don't need to do these constraint bullcrap. I can actually just set this IK handle to be the child of this thing, because neither of these are actually going to be part of the armature chain.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, yeah, maybe I can just do that. This bone is the parent
Of the
of toe pivot.r. Let's see. So the issue is I had the toes parented to the position bone. So, but if the position bone were parented to the toes, then the position bone would still be outside of the armature chain, technically speaking. Okay. So this should be alright.
as long as it's recognized that way, and we can verify that it's not actually being included in the export. Honestly, I would just do an initial test to make sure that the actual bone is exported
Oh my goodness.
properly. What?
Well, that's really strange. What? Okay, so if I rotate this bone, it makes the whole foot go upwards, but then it stops right at this point. And then it continues
the
spinning.
actual stream.
Like, I'm not sure why it does that.
That's special. What's going on?
That's like definitely not what we want, but still intriguing, you know? Okay, so
It's a constraint.
Okay, so
In
I think the issue
summary,
here is that the FK foot bone is the parent of the toe pivot, and the toe pivot is the parent of the ankle IK, and I've set the ankle IK to basically be I've set the foot to also copy the transforms of the foot IK handle.
Okay.
So basically it's just a feedback loop, which isn't getting us
Probably
anywhere.
not a good idea.
So I might have to turn that off. Okay, now it's just doing something completely different. What in the world? Ugh, that's frustrating. I don't understand.
What is that?
come on, let's do the twist.
Deck.
Actually, I don't think that's the twist anymore. That's something else.
Okay. So ankle IK.
Wait, so the other IKs, right?
What?
They're completely separate from the armature, right?
What are you asking?
Like, they're not in the armature hierarchy, right?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, never mind then.
They are definitely part of the same armature, and they are bones. They are considered pieces of the armature. It's just that when we export it, we have the armature exclude all of those bones, so that it just keeps the FK bones and all of the animations
But
that
because
were
the IK is in between two actual actual bones bound to the mesh, it has to be included when exported, right? Is that why it's being exported in the way it is?
So, the issue we had is that the armature would still include bones that had children that were part of the main FK chain, which is why the toes were parented to the position bone when they shouldn't have been.
Interesting. Speaking of which, is it possible to remove that position bone?
We won't need to.
Wait, why?
Because I'll have this fixed. I'll have the toes parented to the
No,
foot
I'm saying
instead.
that's... I'm not actually... let's consult this with the other people first, because, like, I'm not entirely confident that having that bone there is a good idea. I want to double check this, because I think with, like, Yomu, we actually had her hips be the root bone, or something like that, instead of it being a base position.
We need the position bone because there will be animations where the center of gravity, or basically the center of gravity isn't going to be in the center of the thing, and it's just going to make it easier to animate and also easier to implement if we're able to move every single bone in the body at once.
Move your body.
Okay. Fine. I'm going to have to double check exactly how that interacts with our engine. Because I think there are some very strong assumptions about where the root bone of the body is, because that's actually where the true position of the character is. It also determines things like where the character's movement colliders are, where how the character's, like, checks for grounding, etc., are all based. So long as those can be kept consistent, I think we're Gucci.
What in the what? Oh. Okay. I think I see where this is going now. So I'm pretty sure if I set this to not be parented to the foot, that should solve all of our problems. Yeah. Okay.
Heck. What?
Oh, now this is interesting. I don't remember telling Blender to... Oh, I guess I did set this to... Wait, no I didn't. What?
What's going on?
Oh. So I did set... Okay. That makes sense now. So now... Oh, James.
Uh-oh.
So, last night, I got Blair to play Ace Attorney.
Blair's your...
Sibling and roommate.
Yeah, what about him?
Oh my god, we had a great time.
Glad I introduced you to something that y'all enjoy so much.
We had lots of fun just poking the absolute funny shit out of Dick Gumshoe. Like as soon as Gumshoe said, "Please don't call me Dick," like it was inevitable. We were just gonna fucking.
Okay, Dick.
We recorded it too. It's like I might definitely make a YouTube video with that recording at some point.
Okay.
Whew. It's so good. It's 2 hours of just straight up giggling.
You having a giggle, mate? Fumo.
So if I set this thing to be parented to toepivot.r. Wait a minute. That's not what I want. As a matter of fact, I want toepivot.r to be parented to that thing. To toe handler. Okay, maybe I don't want that.
Whatever happened to the Blender game engine? Did they shelve it?
The Blender game engine?
Or is it still there?
I mean, I never used it. I never saw any tutorials on how to use it, so... And I don't think I can actually... Well, there is the scripting thing. Blender still allows scripting, but...
Yeah, but like that's just an editor kind of thing. I'm saying like an actual fucking game engine where you can package it up and...
I do remember that there was a an editor that said it was like games something or other in 2.9, but I haven't been able to see it since 2.8 was released. So
Interesting.
I am inclined to believe that they must have shoved it or whatever.
Shoved it. They shoved it.
Shoved it.
Just like I shoved Spectrum for a while.
Okay, so I want this bone to...
Isn't that right, James?
What?
Isn't that right?
I
When you
want this
don't work
bone
on
to
things for a while,
copy
you
the
shove them.
location of...
I would hope you don't shove them. That's a very rude thing to do.
Why would you shove your project?
No, not Ascot. Armature.
But you can push and you can pull.
Okay, well, you know. Yep.
You can merge and you can fetch.
Uh-huh.
But do not shove.
No shoving.
Ayy. Now we just need to do that whole thing on the other side. Check it out, James. I got a working leg IK that can be moved using just the toe bone. And it's got the pivoting too. Once I'm able to make everything right on the other side, which means setting this parent to toe pivot.l, among a bunch of other things, then that should mean that the first issue that we had is complete. Let's clear that parent. Okay. Okay. So now we go into phone constraints. Both of these are IK'd properly. The feet will have copy transforms for the ankle IK. Wait, shoot. Ankle IK dial. Which means that when we move this thing, the foot follows suit. Good. This thing will copy the transforms of the toe handle, which it looks like it already does. Yeah. Now we just need this thing to copy the location of the toe handle dial. Armature. Handle.l, and yeah, that can stay world space. All right. Looking good. And now we can exclude all these bones. None of them are parented to the actual position bone.
Hey.
I am
So-
gonna parent the handles to the position bone, though.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Of course, it's fine.
It's not gonna be useful. So, what exactly? I'm sorry, I haven't been paying that close attention. What was the what was the one thing that sort of made us break through?
Made us what?
What was the breakthrough that we were looking for? Because it seems like you were stuck for quite some time.
I mean, I don't remember exactly what I was stuck on. I don't remember what you remember me complaining about.
Okay, so long as it's fixed.
It's just that... Well, yeah, the initial issue was that the toes were parented to the position bone because of the way that the rig was set up, the IKs in particular. But then I just made the toes follow an additional bone that I just added, and then have that bone be parented to the position bone instead. And now the toes are actually parented to the foot, like the FK foot.
Yeah. Oh.
Grim Reaper started playing LOL-K yesterday for shits and giggles while on VC with a few friends. He got it to stage 3 without dying in legacy mode. And then he started dying at those fairies that shoot lasers when you kill them. Yeah, LOL-K is brutal. It's kind of easy, but it's also kind of... I mean, I know that I once CC'd Subterranean Animism before LOL-K, which is saying something, because Subterranean Animism is really hard. Actually, I once CC'd Subterranean Animism before a lot of games. Including, but not limited to, 10 Desires, Hidden Star and Four Seasons, Wily Beast and Weakest Creature.
Wily beast and weakest creature. I'm sorry, I had to do that.
Yep.
Damn it.
Basically what I'm saying is I've 1cc'd pretty much every game up until UFO. And also double dealing character.
Yeah.
I haven't actually 1cc'd most of the Modern Era 2 games because...
What's a modern era 2?
James, we have this discussion every time I bring it up.
Yep, exactly, which is
You
why I'm
should
gonna
have
keep
it-
bringing it up.
You should understand what I mean by now.
I understand. I refuse to acknowledge.
Shush. Just remember that Zune also used this exact same terminology when he did
Wait,
a
did he actually
presentation.
use that terminology?
Yeah,
I
he did.
remember him separating it. I don't remember him using the exact words.
He uses a similar dichotomy when he refers to his own games.
Ayo. Ayo.
So like at this point, it's just you being stubborn. Okay. So the toes are fixed. We can cross that off.
I am Toho Boomer.
James, how do we add strike through in Google Docs?
There's format text strike through.
Okay, format text strike through. Alt Shift 5. Like I'm ever gonna remember that.
Honestly, it's easier to do in Markdown.
Perhaps.
I mean, it's
Okay.
literally just the little tilde thing.
So now we want to set. Do we still want to set the Gohei and the ribbons as separate objects?
Uh,
I remember you
yes.
saying that you wanted
Wait,
to
wait,
test
what
the
ribbon?
soft body physics on the Gohei.
What was the ribbon? Oh, not. Wait. No, the ribbon is perfectly fine as is. I definitely want to separate the Gohei out as a separate object. You don't have to remove it, but I strongly recommend
Exporting it separately.
exporting it one separately as a different object. Also, with the Gohei separated into two different meshes, one for the actual like static object,
For the stick and the ribbons.
the stick, and then also the flows after that as well.
Okay.
What else is there?
One thing at a time.
I'm sorry?
One thing at a time.
Yeah, one thing at a time. So I guess. I actually sort of want Reimu's bow to remain relatively static throughout it all, because her bow is, at least when it's drawn, almost feels like it's a part of her head. In pretty much all of the other fighting games and a bunch of the other fan games that I've also played, like pretty much nobody recognizes it as a valid physics object.
Oh, but that's not realistic.
This is Toho. Kick common sense to the curb.
Those are supposed to flow in the wind. They're supposed to be as dynamic as the hair itself.
Like, I completely understand the need to actually make bones and then have them move, but I actually would rather it stay relatively static throughout most of her attacks, because as weird as unrealistic as it is, it's definitely something, like, if we have it curl up and fold in as if it was under the force of gravity, then suddenly it feels like somebody it doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? It doesn't have that same little anime feel. Like, god damn it, we have like so many people in like anime and like games where they have completely unrealistic hair that somehow defies gravity and every other force of physics. And we're sort of just okay with it.
Do we want to apply physics to the ascot though?
Let's leave it be for now.
Okay.
Is it a separate mesh?
Yeah, it is.
Then we can leave it as is. I can experiment with that as needed. Yeah. I should note that we will be likely applying cloth simulation to everything that isn't tied to the actual gameplay. So, I should note that the bones that you're using, like both the weapon. Oh, also remember to rename the actual bone from Gohei to weapon, because that's actually important for retargeting.
I did.
Okay, good. What else is there? Am I forgetting something? Oh yeah, the frills on the skirt.
Yep. So to do that, we basically just need to merge all the vertices on the frills to the skirt. But the thing is that there's a gap in space and I'm just wondering if like it's gonna be problematic if we just immediately send
There's gonna be
the
a gap?
frills to.
Wait, is it normally that way? Did you separate this out, or was it like?
It was like this when I first got the mesh.
Huh.
This was how the original modeler intended it to be, for some reason.
I think that's a mistake. Is it not possible to stitch those two together?
I mean, it would be very easy to actually, but also like it leaves like there's a bit of space between where I just think it might look weird if we just brute force the merging.
What do you mean by that?
So like if we just take this vertice right here and merge it to that vertice over there.
Yeah.
And I know the stream is probably very delayed and it might take a moment. But like if we merge it, then
It seems like the seams are perfectly lined up. So like, what's the problem here? I'm a
like for
little
one
confused.
thing, we have this vertice that just sticks upwards, as well as the vertices around it, which may cause some really weird interactions in the physics. Like they might just cause an extra layer to just droop down from that. But
What do you mean by that?
so like that's the
I'm
first
a
issue.
little confused.
What?
Oh, I think I see what you're talking about.
But for another thing, I'm not sure if we want to actually move the frills downwards to mitigate that.
I mean, it's something we can experiment with. So long as, like, make a backup of this now, just to be sure. And then we'll run some experiments. I'm almost done with my thing here. It's just like maybe, yeah, about like 20 more minutes. And I'm free to test this out.
I mean, you don't need to worry about timing. I still have a lot of things I still need to do with this rig, so.
I hate to put more on your plate, but after all this is like done and dandy, I want to run some tests.
For sure.
Particularly regarding eyes. Are you confident in your ability to be able to insert some eye holes? If not, I can ask Gabo
Wait,
to do
you
it.
want me to model eyes?
Potentially.
Where's that one girl from New Game? Where's that one woman to flick you on the head for making spec changes?
I mean, usually it's the programmer that complains about this, but I can see your point. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure, like, if it's something that we can do on the model, that'd be great. But if it's not something we can tangibly do in a reasonable way, like this is purely an experiment, and I really only want to tackle this once we have everything else with the rig done. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, if I can work with the topology that's already here for the eyes, then yeah, that shouldn't be too hard.
I might also ask you to merge back some of the splits that you made for the model. Like some of the material changes are actually set as completely separate meshes in Unity, and that's actually a very big performance penalty.
Okay. So, like, you want me to keep the Gohei as a separate object, but you want me to merge, like, the collar, the hair, the ascot, that sort of thing.
So basically, I think it was we have 2 different materials for each character, their clothes and their base body. If you could group those together in a way that, you know, produces one solid mesh for each material, that'd be great. Or rather, one mesh with multiple materials, if that's even supported. I'll check this in a sec. And I want to also ensure that, like, we're not exporting materials when exporting materials in the actual FBX itself, because we actually have those separate and defined Unity side. I know this will probably make the actual model look absolutely horrendous in Blender, but that's sort of just what we're gonna have to live with.
I'm gonna be real. I don't actually see what you mean.
I'll show you in a second, I guess. I guess just focus on the points that are already on the checklist.
I am kind of worried that these frills will not keep their shape once we throw this in the
simulator.
Yeah.
So the way I got the skirt working before,
down, like the rest of the skirt.
I completely see what you're saying. I'm probably just going to make it very rigid, like as if there was interfacing on the inside of that frill. Such that it basically maintains its relative connections with most of the local. Like I can basically make it quote unquote solid.
Okay.
Yes, Screwdriver. We have heard of Helltaker.
There was actually one time we were in the we were all in the general voice chat. We were watching this one person play Helltaker in a Discord stream, and like, how did this even transpire? Like, one of us proposed that if everyone set their profile picture to this one image of a dog, that he would give everyone in the voice chat $5.
Oh.
And so,
is that the thing I missed out on? It was like I came in like just
you missed
after
out on
that
nothing.
happened. I missed out on $5. And then he pledged $3 a month to that one thing. So meh.
believe it or not, it was not Cerberus. It didn't actually have anything to do with Helltaker, except for the fact that we were watching a stream of someone play Helltaker while it happened. The dog was just like this meme dog image.
Meme dog.
Meme dog.
Egg dog.
Dog memes.
It was a meme doggo. The skirt looks so weird now that I've made the frill big enough to actually fit with it.
Actually, I don't think that's a big issue.
Yeah,
I like it.
I know it's not a huge issue. It's just it
I
looks kind of
actually
strange
like
to
the way
me.
it looks.
How about everyone becomes a Shiba Inu? What makes it great, though, is that there was this one person was just really stubborn. He said he absolutely would not be swayed by peer pressure. He would not change his profile picture. But then there was this other person who doesn't normally speak in the voice chat. He usually does like a soundboard thingamabobber. It's kind of like his gimmick. And he said he would reveal his voice if this other person changed his profile picture, which finally got him to do it.
Who was it? Shit.
Who was the stubborn person?
I didn't remember being particularly stubborn and basically saying, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was either. But we all know who the soundboard guy is.
Yeah.
Fucking guy hero. Okay. So we kind of got out of order here, but the frills are now attached to the skirt, which means we can finally attach or apply physics to the entire skirt now, right?
Yes. Oh, without it breaking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh yeah, we also converted the rig to a single joint system. So that's also
Good stuff.
crossed off.
Unparent Core IK, it seems like it's done.
No, it's not.
Oh.
That is something I still need to do. Basically, so these two bones on the back here are dedicated to controlling Reimu's spine. This one is supposed to control the top two bones with its location and its rotation, respectively.
Mm-hmm. I can't see it right now because stream's catching up, but okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then the bone on the lower part is supposed to control all three of the spine bones all at once. And it also, like, pulls Reimu's entire body upwards so that it moves in relation to, like, how her legs are moving.
Mm.
Like, her legs are basically the only bones that aren't parented to or controlled by this big bone at the bottom.
Interesting.
Basically at Reimu's bottom, if you know what I'm saying. The issue is that in order to get this to work, I actually had to parent this bone at the top here to one of the spine bones in the actual FK chain, which means that it also shows up in the Unity export. Which...
Oh, I should probably also check how many spine bones we can actually afford. Can you check that, actually? It's under, I think, like, exporting, preparing humanoid rigs.
Let's see, didn't you list the entire hierarchy under...
Yeah, but I can't actually pull it up right now.
In...
Can you just, like, go to Google and search Unity export humanoid rig or something like that? There's an actual documentation page for it. I don't know if it's going to cause an issue, but...
Oh, it's Unity, not Udemy. Preparing humanoid assets for export. Rigging. Okay. Hips, spine, chest, shoulders. Okay.
So I see that we have, like... I don't know which one's the
our
hip.
spine is 3 bones, which are the hips, the spine, and the chest.
Okay, then we Gucci.
And those things immediately branch off into the shoulders and the neck.
I think the only thing that we have that's a little weird is the head bone being attached to her bow.
Wait a minute. This might be an issue. So, it looks like the hierarchy doesn't include fingers.
What? No, it does.
It does.
It definitely does. Because like when I imported your current one, all the fingers are found just fine.
But the hierarchy says it goes chest, shoulders, arm, forearm, hand, and then it ends.
Yes, that's just a general hierarchy. There's also the fingers and toes that are included as well.
Okay. But the hierarchy also says leg, foot, toe, toe end.
I'm not entirely sure what the toe end is, actually. Google it.
So, like, I'm not sure if that's gonna be an issue. Because we just have the leg, the foot, the toe.
Generally speaking, I think they just assume a static position if you don't have a bone for it.
Okay. I do remember Unity identifying some of the hair bones as eye bones.
Yeah, that one... I'm not entirely sure how to do that and deal with that. I can disable it. Might even be better if we actually have eye bones.
Just set the hair to be physics.
I really want to minimize the amount of physics things, but like just only use it for the things that we really need it for.
Okay.
But also, generally speaking, I really don't expect her hair to be moving all that much. But maybe, I don't know.
I kind of expect her hair to move a lot.
Oh no! Yeah, her hair. I was thinking her like little hair tube things.
Yeah, she's definitely gonna like flip those around.
Okay.
I mean, you remember that animation one of our other contributors made, where it was like her flipping one of the hair strands.
Oh yeah.
Except we hadn't boned that yet, so it didn't exactly make the hair strand move. It was just her hand going, "Wah!"
Through it.
Okay, what else do I need to do? Oh yeah. I need to figure out... Okay. So I think I want to clear the parent for spine 0. Keep this parented to the hips. Okay. Make sure this is parented to, what's it called? Spine 1.
There's only one spine in the body.
Ethically
There's only one
sourced.
spine in the body.
There's only one ethically sourced spine in the body. The others are unethically sourced. We just don't talk about this.
Okay, so let's delete the bone constraints for all these things for now, because stuff and stuff and stuff. We set this thing to retain its IK. So the hips are independent. Huh. I see. So I'm pretty sure if we set this thing to copy the transforms with spine 0 without actually setting the parent, oh, hello. And that's actually not what we want anyway. Oh, crap. Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to...
Fumo.
Fumo. Let's see. So, we really do want to have a bone that controls the entire spine
Mm-hmm.
at once, then we can't really do that without having a parental relationship between the two bones. If we just do copy rotation or copy location, then for one thing, it will set this thing to be exactly in the orientation of this bone, which isn't what we want. But also, it'll set this bone to no longer be independent. We can't have swaying hips anymore. Which, I mean, I suppose we could live without, but do we wanna?
I'm sorry. No, I think we should definitely keep that available. Holy shit.
Oh no, James has the coof.
Don't forget to breathe.
Oh, I'm koofing.
Shush. I'm wondering if we can try something, the same thing we did with the foot, where we just create a duplicate bone and
And?
have that copy, have the, what's it called? So we let the FK hips copy the transforms of this duplicate bone, which is essentially in the same place that the hips are in, and then parent the hip handle to spine 0. Let's try that.
Huh.
So if we duplicate this, make it a little bit larger so we can differentiate it. Let's call this bone hips handle. Let's make it not parented to anything. Wait. Let's make it parented to spine 0. And then we have the hips. Copy the transforms of the hips handle. So now if we go into pose mode. Yay, Spine Zero controls everything. And not only that, we can actually move the hips independently. Woo! And of course, moving the actual hips doesn't do anything. I'm glad that works. Okay, I need to investigate this driver. Ah.
Oh no.
So I really did just set it to be half of the Y rotation of the core IK bone.
Ba-boom.
And then even though this thing... Oh. So I'm pretty sure at one point I had this parented to the core IK, which is why I called this whole mess unparent core IK. So I think what this did is I had it
Oh god.
so if I turn this off, no, it still seems to, that's weird. I feel like that might not be necessary. Let's set this thing to copy rotation of armature core IK. Oh!
Ow.
Now James has 2 bones in the body.
Oh!
But if we set it to local space...
Nice. Oof, need to read this.
Wait, what in the world is it doing now? What?
The limbo.
That's not how you limbo. That's cheating.
No, it isn't. That looks more like scoliosis, to be honest.
Oh no.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
What if we set that to world space?
World space.
No. Local with parent?
That's crazy. Whew. Oh no.
Oh, that is really strange.
Hmm.
What do I...
Okay, now I know exactly what's going on. But that's just weird. What?
What the heck?
Okay. So I wonder if we set this to a YXZ Euler, if that actually fixes anything. Nope. It does not. What about an XYZ Euler? Nope. Same thing.
Oh wow. Update. A date. Is that cool?
Do I need to create another bone handle? Oh my goodness. This is getting tiring.
As long as it's, you can hide it.
I mean, yeah. This is probably ones that we will hide.
It's like, if it's not something that should be directly interfaced with a human, there's no reason to keep it around. Or no reason to make it so that it clutters the space.
Let's see.
Pixel 3a is done being sold by Google.
I mean, technically we could just work with this, but...
Unfortunate.
What is this buzzing? What the heck? I didn't say anything. I found these results,
maybe
but
we could even orient this in edit mode so that it just stands upright, and then set the custom object so that it is oriented way off to the side of. Okay, let's see now. So that works. Yeah, that's a lot more. Oh, you know what? This might be fine. This actually looks pretty intuitive.
Nice.
Yeah, this handle actually looks surprisingly intuitive. I might just keep it this way. I do think we should call it the upper
booty matron.
spine handle, though. Let's call this the spine handle. Okay. Whoa. Oh my god.
Uh-oh. We'll take a look at what's going on.
I know you can't see it on stream yet, but... Oh god, that looks so silly. Oh, this is just...
What a wig!
I'm sorry, I'm very easy to entertain.
Can we lock the scale on that, please? What did you just do?
What did I just what?
What the heck?
I mean, as long as we can reset everything to their default values, then I don't really see a need to lock any attributes.
I see, okay.
animators are competent people. Don't worry.
Yeah, so are programmers, but we never trust them. I think the mantra has been basically like, don't trust a human to do what a machine can do automatically for you. And for the most part, that's actually worked pretty well.
You send a machine to do a man's job? Yes. Yes, I did. And they do it better.
What was that from? RoboCop?
It's not from anything in particular. I'm just fucking around. Okay. So it looks like we might want to just... We do want to set this to 0.2. No, we want to set this to 1. Because we don't want these frills to come down pretty much at all when the arms are down. But I also know that I set these up like this so that they wouldn't clip through the arms when the arms moved upwards. So, I guess we're just going to have to make sure that the animators remember to move the shoulders every time they move the arms. Because that's what shoulders do anyway. Shoulders move with the arms.
Isn't it possible to IK the arm to do so?
What now?
Isn't it possible to IK the arm to move, like drag the the shoulder with it a little bit as well?
The shoulder can move independently enough that doing that would do more harm than good.
Okay.
It is confusing, but human anatomy is also confusing. Oh, and actually that looks fine. Like, even if you... Okay. I suppose there is a fair amount of clipping, but...
What's a clip?
Oh, clearly I didn't test the shoulders enough.
I'll be back in a second.
Oh my goodness. Look at this bullshit. How did I just... fucking... This is terrible! How did I not test the shoulders?
Glad we're finding this now. Not after we started doing animations.
I knew I was oversimplifying things. Ugh. now I have no idea what I'm looking at. Okay, I might have figured it out. Might have. Pose mode. Okay. This honestly feels kind of weird. My body is not used to doing 3D work at noon like this.
If you need rest, get some.
It's just that usually when I'm doing 3D work, I'm staying up way past midnight. It's because that's when I get the motivation to actually do shit like this. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this means that the spine is actually done being worked on. But real fast, I'm going to check the parenting. So this one's parented to spine 1. This one's parented to hips. And the hips are not parented to anything, just like they should be. The shoulders are parented to spine 2. The neck is also parented to spine 2. Okay. Which means all right. I think that means we can cross off unparent core IK now. Let's see, it was Alt-Shift-5. Yes, good. That means I can actually memorize this now. Okay. So now we need to set the Gohei and the ribbons as sexual.
Sexual?
Yeah, set them as sexual objects.
That was one hell of a Freudian slip. Holy shit.
Okay, we need to set them
What did
as
he
separate
mean by
objects. Which
What did
shouldn't
he
be too
mean?
hard. Hey, Spax, welcome to the stream. How are you doing, man? Okay, so James, how exactly do you want me to do this? Do you want the Gohei itself to be in a completely separate scene from Or can we just get away with that just being a separate object?
I
from the
would
rest
want
of
it in an entirely different scene, and then I needed the root to be where the object would be grabbed from.
You're in pain,
Does that make sense?
Specs? Damn. That stinks.
Pain sucks indeed. Nobody likes to be in pain.
Okay, I think I want to add a new collection. Let's call it Do Not Export. This will be where the the Gohei goes.
Are we able to actually mark that as a non-exportable hierarchy?
Yes.
Very good.
We can also just make it invisible or straight up like not include it in the scene.
Let's... Yeah, just not... Because the reason why I want to do this way is because if I can bind it in Unity, that way we can actually have the weapon substitutable, treating Reimu's Gohei almost like an item in yeah.
Oh, it turns out Spax has been dealing with similar struggles that you've been. A deterministic physics system. But Unity has an ECS experimental package.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out some crap like that for quite some time. I still haven't actually nailed down a solution for it yet.
Long story short, like James has been trying to figure out how to like get the skirts, like how he wants the skirts to move around in the engine. And that's basically been holding up the project for...
Spax is literally talking about something that I've been trying to figure out this entire fucking time.
Yep.
Like, literally trying to get deterministic physics so that rollback works properly. I still haven't nailed that down just yet.
Yep.
Only solution that I've found so far is to write our own physics system, which requires me to do a whole load of crap with
well, I mean, I also came up with a way through Blender itself a couple like months ago.
Oh no, this is like all the stuff for like all the stuff that was mentioned in terms of like fixed point and whatnot. That's all Unity side. That this is like actual game engine stuff, not the render.
ECS is deterministic.
ECS is not deterministic across multiple burst compilation isn't even deterministic either.
Wait.
Plus, ECS animation is not there yet, so we will not be able to actually apply if we can find a way to do deterministic ECS, by all means. I'm sorry, deterministic animation through ECS, by all means, well, we can go ahead and go and do so. But for now, no, I don't see any reason to pursue this. Yes, it is not actually deterministic across no, you have not been lied to. It is deterministic insofar as specific operations are concerned, but others are not. Russell, do you need me any further? Because I actually probably need to go do groceries for the short sec. I'll be back in like an hour or two.
I mean, Spax here is still confused. I don't think I'll be. Let's.
Unity. We're talking about Unity ECS.
So, Yeah, the Gohei here is probably just going to be placeholder, like within Blender itself. I will create a new scene that appends this Gohei, and I'll separate the stick
Okay.
from the ribbons there.
I'll be back later. I'll see you.
Yeah.
Later.
All right. See you, James. And the other two people in this voice chat are muted or deafened right now, so I basically have no one to talk to. Okay. So let's save this. Let's create a new file. General. And let's append documents. Wait. Blender projects. Reimu rig 2.1. Object. Gohei. Nice. Let's zero these out. How do I want to do this? Maybe if I exclude these vertices. That might work. 5. Let's do the same to the other side. Rotate Y. Let's do -5. Wait a minute. Okay, looks like they're identical. Was just wondering if I did it by 5 or by 6. Okay. So now we have these separated by material. This is the stick. This is the ribbon. Okay, and then we will save this as Gohei version 1. Am I rigging? I mean, this part in particular isn't exactly rigging, but it's basically what I've been doing for the past 2.5 hours. Okay. And now I believe that finally sets this bad boy as done. So now what I think I want to do is see if I can export Oh, that's cool. So apparently the animation still preserved for these bones, even though I had to delete them and recreate them. That's really cool. Okay. I didn't know Blender could do that. The legs are not still on wacko mode. I've fixed them. So now you can control the entire leg just using the toe handle. You can also control the toes this way. And you can also rotate this thing so that you can have the foot pivot on the toe. Modern technology, yes. The legs also have a added feature where you can move these bones to choose the direction that the knees face, which is nice. So yeah, everything's moving just the way they should. We got hips that sway. We got this thing here that moves everything except for the legs. Although, I wonder if I want this thing to include the hands. Because I have a feeling we might not actually want that. I suppose when it comes down to folks actually animating this, we'll find out sooner or later whether or not we actually want to parent literally everything else, everything above the legs, do that thing. So, yeah. Okay. So now what I want to do is hide everything that okay. Let's hide everything that we don't want the animators to see. Wait a minute, what happens when we do this? Oh, that's a little bit wild. Eh. I don't think that's anything we should worry about at the moment. Yeah, this thing can stay. This thing can also stay, although the thing right under it probably shouldn't. Let's hide this, let's hide that. Let's hide this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Technically, we don't need to see every single finger bone, but we do want to keep the knuckles that have the yin-yang shapes. And we keep the thumbs, we keep the weapon bone. Let's hide this. The neck bone still moves around. And we also want to keep all the bones up here, even though I feel like, I personally feel like there should be some way to organize this a bit more well. Okay. Now we save this. Then we go into edit mode. And let's see. If we go export as an FBX. Okay. So we want to do mesh and armature, but just those two. Oh, I need to go and set all the new bones as non-deform. Okay. So this is not deform. This is not deform. This is not deform. basically anything that isn't actually part of the skeleton itself. Anything that is only there to facilitate the IKs and whatnot. So the actual foot itself is deformed, but the ankle IK is not. Are the toes deformed? Yes. Okay. That's good. Didn't adjust the deformed status on the legs. I just took out the knee, because apparently we couldn't have that. Position is also not deformed, which is good. That's not deformed. This shouldn't be deformed. I mean, yeah, I've heard of Guilty Gear. I've seen a lot of art for it. And I'm also very intrigued by how Arc System Works pulls off their 3D art style. But I have not actually played any of the Guilty Gear games. And I've also been reading up on the news for Guilty Gear Strive. Kind of interested in it, but I've also heard that it's been flopping a bit in its beta. So I mean, it does seem like a little bit of a risky buy for folks who are thinking of buying it. They had a GDC talk about it. Yeah, they did. They talked about how, like, in order to get their appearance, they had to be very deliberate about how they made the UV models and how they set up the skeleton rigs and that sort of thing. Yeah, I definitely, like, heard people talk about the lobby system, and the lobby system just seems very, like, unnecessary. Very janky. Yeah, that's one thing about Arc System Works. They seem to take a lot of, they seem to take a fair bit of, oh, what's the word? Criticism? Seriously? They take feedback, they take criticism, they listen, and I do like to think that they do also adjust their works based on that sort of thing. Okay, so I think we have all the deformed bones marked. It doesn't look like a gacha main menu. So now we save this, and I think if we export it right now, then we should be able to get an FBX with just the rig and the mesh, and just the forward kinematic bones, as in the ones that actually determine the movement of vertices, not the movement of other bones. Wait, what did I have set for the active collection? Also, someone just... maybe I don't want to do that. archer. Only deformed bones? Okay. Now if we go to FBX exports. Let's call this Reimu rig parenting fix. Okay. Now what I want to do is make a new, don't save. Okay, then we set this to import an FBX. Import this thing. Uh-oh. What? Oh, that's really strange. Huh. Who animates these, by the way? Probably me, James, and let's see. Probably a couple of other folks on our team. I'm primarily in charge of the rigging, although I also know that I will be doing some animation work as well. Although the animation can be broadened out to a much larger group of people than just the rigger. Because rigging is a separate skill set from animation pretty much entirely. Okay, so why did the export include the spine handle and the position bone? Did I forget to set one of those as non-deform? So I'm assuming that the FBX export just tacks on the extra end bones due to to do some kind of weird processing thingamabobber in FBX format. So it looks like I gotta figure out why it exported the wrist IK for the right hand and not the left, the spine handle, and the position bone. And I'll also need to figure out why it decided to separate the hips and spine one. So let's go back here, don't save. So it definitely says here that spine 1 is connected to the hips. And I mean, that's not too big of an issue. As long as the origin is in the same place, which I'm pretty sure it is. As long as the origin for spine 1 is in the same place, then it doesn't really matter if the hips and the spine are connected in the export. It just might hint at another issue later on, which is what we're really worried about. Okay, so spine handle isn't deform. Does that mean position is? No, position also isn't deform. Wrist IKR also isn't deform. Is there a deformed bone that is still a parent of... No. Still a child of position? Does seem a little bit strange to me. Okay, that explains it. So, I still have the weapon parented to wrist.ik.r. And the weapon is set to deform. And it has to be because it is the, what do I call it? It's the thing that controls the weapon. And it's definitely something that we have to export. So, yeah, if I set this to be parented to hand.r instead, I think that should be able to fix our issue. Okay. Okay. So now if we try exporting this again. Then we go to import that FBX one more time. Let's see. Okay. What in the world is this? What? Face direction wasn't here last time. Oh, great. And now we don't only have wrist IK in here. We also... Wait a minute. I know what I did wrong. Don't save. Okay, FBX. Armature. Mesh. I forgot to do all this. Only deform bones. Okay. And now, if we go new, import FBX. There we go. Now this should actually look cleaner. Hubert display in front. Hey, look at that. We have just the FK bones now. Okay. We... I really am just a little bit concerned about the way these two bones are not connected. I'm really not sure why that happens. Although, I don't think it really matters because as long as this particular point, let's see, this particular point that I have selected here is where, as long as that's where it is in the original blend file, and again, I'm not entirely sure if it is, but I'm inclined to believe that that's where it is. As long as that's in the same place, then the vertices affected by this bone should still rotate in the same way that they do in the actual blend file. And so this not being connected shouldn't really matter. I mean, this bone is clearly still parented to this one, even if, you know, they aren't connected. Just parented. Still has instructions to follow whatever this bone does. Yeah. Alright, I guess I'll consider that finished. Unless James tells me that there is indeed a problem with all the bone hierarchies having end bones. I'm sure James probably knows more about that than I do, because I don't really know much about how FBX files work. Alright, and I think with that, I am going to end the stream now. I got everything I came out here to do. I got it all done, so. And we're also right about at the 3-hour mark. Which, yeah, that's actually kind of perfect. It's normally how long I stream for. I didn't intend to take exactly 3 hours to do exactly everything I needed to do. But yeah, we'll take it. Yeah, I'll end the stream now. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know what to say. I'll see you guys in the next stream, I suppose. Next stream, video, whatever I upload next. Alright. Bye everyone. Rock on. All that good stuff. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Stop the flow, please. And thank you. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.